How you doing, YouTube family? Today is Thursday, February the 6th, 2025. It's your man Big D, and I'm back with another one. Before I get to this next episode, I would like to thank all of you good folk out there in YouTube land that continue to show support to my son and I. We greatly appreciate it. Thank you. Well, family, I came across a very chilling story. And this story is brought to us by Unique Mecca Audio. Family, I'm not going to hold you on this one. We got to get to it. It is a lot that we can learn, and we have to be good stewards when it comes to those teachable lessons when things happen. Because things happen for a reason. I don't think that, in my opinion, that things happen by some sort of happenstance or what have you. I think for the most part, things happen for a reason, and when these things happen, oftentimes it's bad things. So when these bad things happen, we have to look at the life lesson behind it. We have to look at the teachable moment. So, family, without further ado, let's check this out.
Breaking news, breaking news, breaking news. You know how we begin this program. This one here is bananas. See, I'm going to show you this little 6-year-old girl right here so you understand. This little 6-year-old girl right here wound up shooting a cop in the eye fatally. Sit back, and I'm going to tell you how this thing play out because you already know. I just let you know it's a breaking news, breaking news, breaking news. Let's ride, baby. All right. All right, you know what it is. Unique Mecca Audio, man. Check it out, Rob. A routine shopping trip to the Walmart Supercenter in Novi, Michigan turned into a life-altering event for 38-year-old Denise Williams and her 6-year-old daughter, Aaliyah. Check out how this played out. On what seemed like an ordinary day, Denise purchased a Samsung 75-inch smart TV. As she was approaching the exit, her receipt unknowingly slipped from her purse, fell to the ground. She kept it moving. Unaware of this, Denise continued towards the doors, where Trevor McCarthy, the employee checking receipts. You know how you go to Walmart, they got the employees checking receipts. They stopped her and asked her for proof of purchase. Realizing that her receipt was missing, Denise calmly explained the situation and flagged down the cashier who had just purchased her transaction for her. Although the cashier confirmed that Denise had paid for the TV, McCarthy, the dude at the door checking receipts, he refused to let her leave, right? Insisting she should not exit without a receipt, even after the lady done came and told him that he got the receipt. Now, frustrated but determined not to cause a scene, Denise purchased, right? She proceeded to her SUV and waved down the nearby man in the parking lot, asking for his help to load the large TV into her vehicle. As the man began assisting her, right, a police car suddenly pulls up. Now, this is where the confrontation jumps off, right? You know, the police pull up, you know. They done pulled up. They ready to bust. All right, you already know they ready to bust. Now, the confrontation, right? Officer Lindsay Carter, a 28-year-old, she's a baby, a rookie with a reputation for being overly zealous, excited, exited the vehicle with her hand already resting on her holstered gun. Like, okay, what's the problem? You know what I mean? I'm ready to bust off. McCarthy had called the the police, that's the dude checking the receipts, claiming Denise had not only stolen the TV, but that she assaulted him, an assault that never took place. Now, from that, this officer came that she assaulted him, so he definitely going to jail. He stole the TV, she definitely going to jail. Gunshots, gunshots, gunshots. Somebody's going to jail, right? Officer Carter immediately confronted Denise, accusing her of theft and demanding that she put her hands behind her back.
Family, let me give you a stern warning about, I'm not going to say all, but a good portion of that Walmart security, that those loss prevention dudes. Listen, from my previous experience, a lot of them boys and girls that work in loss prevention in Walmart, they always wanted to be the police. In some way, shape, form, or fashion, they really wanted to be in the position of the deputies they call whenever they allegedly catch somebody shoplifting. So we got individuals who wasn't quite good enough to make it through an academy, or perhaps their background, or they wasn't quite, well, their background wasn't what a law enforcement agency was looking for, or perhaps maybe they just wasn't qualified for the position. So now you got a person who always wanted to be seen but was never seen amongst those in society. Now they overdo it. They overpush it. And I tell you, you better be careful with when you're going in Walmart, that whole self-pay, you better be careful, because I done seen a lot of folk get hemmed up on some BS behind that self-pay and Walmart loss prevention.
Denise, caught off guard, tried to explain that she had paid for the TV and that the cashier could confirm it. But Carter, the officer, her tone, it grew, increasingly aggressive. Like, I don't care what you got to say. This is what it is. Get your hands behind your back. I'm cuffing you, and that's where we going at with this. You know what I mean? When Denise hesitated to comply with being handcuffed, right? She pleaded that she had done nothing wrong. Officer Carter, right? Officer Carter responded with unnecessary force, right? She grabbed Denise by the arm, struck her in the.
So now we go to the second issue. You have an overzealous police officer that responds to the scene. Already in her mind, this black woman, and potentially, I'm not gonna say it's a race thing, but oftentimes there's a little bit of bias going on. And now they already got this preconceived notion, because good old loss prevention, good old Walmart loss prevention, basically told a lie, or you know omits a little bit of the truth. And now, by the time dispatch radios to the responding officer, and they get, well, because like he said, the lady flagged down a guy to help her load this TV inside her SUV. So now, if Buddy done already lied about, the lady didn't pay, she used force to get away with the TV. He already done said, oh, he done called back to dispatch and saying, oh yeah, and that lady, and she getting some guy to help her load it up in the back of her SUV. So now dispatch radios to the responding officer and says, hey, you might want to step it up and be aware that there is a black guy helping her, or we're not going to even say black, we just going to say a guy, because I don't think he mentioned the race, but there's a guy assisting her with loading this TV in her SUV. So now the officer don't know if there's perhaps two suspects involved. She just don't know. So I get her having a high state of alertness, but when she get there, to just automatically go to from 0 to 100, no, she was wrong for that. She should have got there and separated everybody. If she needed to get a backup coming, make sure the scene is, safe first for her and for everybody else, secure, get her backup coming, and then once your backup get there, now you can sort this out.
Ribs and force her to the ground, placing her in a, like a chokehold as Denise gasps for air. So now Denise is on the floor gasping for air, right? Aaliyah, her daughter, she's still seated in the SUV. She's watching the horror as, her mother struggled, panicking, trying to breathe. She remembered the firearm her mother kept in the glove compartment for protection, a weapon Denise had taught her to handle safely. That's what they teach children in America, Second Amendment. So now this is where the Second Amendment worked out for, for the good guys, you know. But rest in peace to the officer. And when I say good guys, because the rat bastard, they try and grab everything. I'm saying the whole Justice Department, the police department, and everybody, because from them pushing the Second Amendment to teach children even how to use gun in the face of danger, because this young lady's young girl, this baby, I'm gonna keep it 100. This baby's mother was on the ground being choked out by an officer, was gasping for air, is what was happening. So it don't matter what color it is. It don't matter. None of that is important right now. It don't matter who's an officer or who's not an officer. So that have nothing to do with this story. But this is just how we have to look at things, right? So like I said, Aaliyah is still seeing the SUV, and she watched in horror as her mother struggled, panicking, and remembered the firearm her mother kept in the glove box compartment for protection, a weapon Denise had taught her how to handle safely. Acting out of fear and desperation, Aaliyah retrieved the gun, stepped out of the SUV, and pointed it at the Officer Carter, screaming, "Stop," screaming for her, to stop. And the officer wouldn't stop. Now, when Carter, the officer, turned towards Aaliyah and she appeared to reach for her own weapon. So now this 6-year-old is pointing a weapon at an officer, and the officer instinctively, being an officer trying to protect their life, see a gun, it don't matter who's behind the handle of the gun. She reached for her gun. Now, when she reached for her gun, she's ready to protect her life by shooting this 6-year-old girl. So it could have went either way. But instead, the little girl, she hit the cop, and the cop got shot in the eye and died. Tragic, tragic tragedy that we have to go through. But this is just letting you know what this society has come to. And now everyone is going to be allowed to carry a gun, so everyone is going to be able to protect themselves in public. But that's all the gun is for, protection under the Second Amendment. Now, so she, acting out of desperation, Aaliyah retrieved the gun. She stepped out the SUV and she pointed at Officer Carter, screaming for her to stop. When Carter turned around, Aaliyah and appeared to, reach for her own gun. Aaliyah fired a single piercing shot that struck the officer in the eye. Carter collapsed to the ground. Died. Aaliyah immediately dropped the gun and rushed to her mother's side, sobbing and begging her to wake up, because this officer had choked out this little girl's mother, and this little girl witnessed that. So this is what's going on out there. So don't say that you wasn't told what happened. So she collapsed to the ground, like I said, so she ran to her mother. So Denise gained consciousness, right? And moments later, as many more officers arrived, and
family, it's a damn shame that because of a hot-headed officer, that this little 6-year-old child's life is going to ever be forever changed. There's no doubt that this little girl is going to have PTSD for the rest of her life because of this incident, all because this hothead officer just didn't slow it down, just didn't go in with the prejudgment that all black folk trying to steal something. Just take a step back.
The scene, both Aaliyah and her mother was taken into custody from the scene. So you understand, right? So now they was cleared of all charges, but check out how this play out, right? They was cleared of all charges, right? Now, however, right, after a thorough investigation, Denise was cleared of any wrongdoing. The lost receipt was recovered, and security footage confirmed that Denise had paid for the TV and had not assaulted McCarthy. So, what should they do with McCarthy? Y'all put that in the comments what they should do with this dude, McCarthy, right now for lying and saying that she assaulted him when she didn't have the officer.
First of all, what they should do with McCarthy, they should prosecute his ass to the fullest extent of the law. Let's start with being lying. Let's start with him being negligent to that police officer losing her life. Let's just start with that. You know, like I said, family, you got to be careful because a lot of them guys that work, security, a lot of them that work at the little loss prevention, a lot of them really, really wanted to be police officers, deputies, but for whatever the reason, their circumstances just won't allow it. So trust and believe me, they always trying to be extra extra to the police officer or the deputy that's showing up on scene. Listen, I'm just telling you what I've seen with my own two eyes. So they always trying to overdo it. That's just what happened.
Coming on a different type of time. What should they do with him? The footage also revealed Officer Carter's excessive use of force, which had escalated the situation unnecessarily. So the footage also showed the officer when she came, jumped out with the gun, got aggressive, and grabbed her by the arm, hit her in the rib, boop, take that with you on the way down, and bent Mama Dukes over and started choking moms out. Moms would probably say, yo, what is wrong with you? You bugging. I can just imagine what the mother's thinking now, like, yo, you bugging. You know what I mean? And she's just moving, but the camera catches all this, and that's what clears up because you already know from looking at this baby's picture and the thing, if that camera wasn't there, whatever they wrote up or thought up or said the forensic show by the angle and the way and the weight that the body dropped to the ground after they put the cones around it, all that crap, right? It would have been real ugly for him. So the footage also revealed that Officer Carter used excessive force, which had escalated the situation. Now, the justification. Aaliyah's actions were deemed justifiable as she acted in defense of her mother's life. So they deemed the 6-year-old that shot the officer's actions as justifiable, right? Because she was protecting her mother's life. Now, the incident has ignited widespread debate about systematic racism, the criminalization of black shoppers, meaning just black people going to the store and automatically looked at as they trying to steal something, and the excessive force used by law enforcement towards black people, minorities. So that's what they're talking about right there. So now the aftermath, right? The Williams family has since filed a lawsuit against Walmart, citing McCarthy's false accusation, talking about the shopping dude, and failure to de-escalate the contributors to the tragic events. So they say that he should have tried, to de-escalate it as a Walmart employee. So they suing Walmart, and for him being a Walmart employee and lying and saying that this lady stole something when she didn't. So Aaliyah, now at the center of a national conversation, is seen by many as a hero for protecting her mother in the face of grave danger. Right? You see how this play out? This is a sad story, but it has a strong meaning, and It's up to you where you at, how you take it, or what you seem to want to do with it to see where you go with it. All right. Been on here long enough. Just wanted to run that story to you. I'm getting ready to work on a couple more joints now. I've seen a lot of stuff going on with this. Not even gonna say it. We just gonna do it. Let's keep it moving. All right. Oh, subscribe to my daughter's YouTube channel at Juanita Mecca Audio, Juanita, and also Unique Mecca Audio YouTube and Mecca Audio TV. All right. All of that at YouTube. Let's keep it popping. All right.
Family, this is just yet another example where law enforcement around the globe, in particular in the U.S., of course, they're gonna have to do a better job of vetting these these applicants. Cause you hire these some of these individuals that they don't they don't know how to deal with people of color, and because of their mindset, and I'm not gonna say all, because I understand that only a few bad apples, but it just seems like it's more than just a few. So until we examine the real root of the problem, there's never going to be a real fix. So I don't know how they do it. They got to figure it out. I don't know how they weed out a low key uh, racist or a underlying biased thinking individual, thinking that if you ain't white, you ain't right. I don't know how they weed it out, but they had better do something, because if not, we gonna keep on having situations like this. This poor child is going to be forever affected by this BS, because this girl came in heavy handed, ready to put somebody, put somebody, black ass in jail, perhaps. And in view of an unlawful arrest, this child had to do the unthinkable, to put for that officer to come in and not de-escalate the situation, call for backup, wait for backup to respond, make sure everything is safe and secure. Then you start your investigation. But to just come in heavy-handed and to put that little baby in that situation where she had to do the unthinkable, that's diabolical work. But unfortunately, us black folk have been dealing with that for some time now. And as I tell you about these Walmart, the Targets, the little loss prevention officers, I'm not saying all of them are bad, because I've met good young men or women who were endeavoring to try to become, a certified law enforcement officer, a certified police officer, a certified deputy sheriff. They was just, they would, the loss prevention job was just an ends to a means. That was just that was just to put money in their pocket while they was, some were going through the police academy. So I'm not gonna say all of them are like that, but then you have those that was nobodies in high school, unseen. Nobody never saw them. They was nobodies. But in their mind, they thought that everybody else was the problem. And as soon as they get in a position, they're going to assert their authority that they really don't have. So you gonna have to understand, family, when you mess around with these Walmarts and that old self checkout. Listen, I done seen too many get hemmed up. And as for Big D, oh no, if something costs more than $50, I ain't doing no self-checkout. I'm standing in line behind everybody else who got 100 items, and I really only got like maybe 10. But if I got a big item like a TV or a high dollar value item, no, I'm not. Listen, I'm not going through no self checkout because that's the main area where loss prevention be focusing on. So I ain't going through no self checkout because I done seen many people get hemmed up on some BS that had not stolen a thing. So, oh yeah, I stand in a long line because at the end of it, it's better than Big D being in handcuffs on some BS because they ain't gonna care about retired this and retired that, what I used to do. You know, all they see me is just, you know, I'm trying to steal. Maybe I'm down on my luck. Maybe I'm down bad. So I'm trying to steal. So you know what? To avoid a misunderstanding, Big D just standing the long checkout line with the old lady up there at the cash register going slow as hell. Well, family, I hope you enjoyed this one. I enjoyed bringing it to you. See you on the other side. Well, family, what did you think about this one? This one was deep. This is what happened. This is what happens when you hire hot-headed people. You give people power that cannot wait to abuse it, and you don't thoroughly vet your applicants, and you think because they neighbors said, they few neighbors that your investigators went out and interviewed, the background check and what have you, and just cause a neighbor said, Little Johnny was always a good boy, always used to cut the grass, and Little Johnny was this, but what they leaving out is that Little Johnny was a racist. And Little Johnny couldn't wait to get a gun and a badge. In this case, it was Lil Karen. Well, family, always remember, be more tomorrow than you were yesterday. Peace.